In this video, I'm going to go over the basics of creating a simple if-then statement using the Logic and Loops menu within XploriLab's coding module. Start by going into the Logic menu. Now there's a few options here, but the one I'm going to focus on is down near the bottom, and it is an if-do-else statement. This lays the foundation for most if statements that you might be working with as you create your codes. Essentially, what this says is if some condition is true, do this, else or otherwise do something else. Now, as I'm going to set this up, I need to tell it what kind of condition I want it to meet. And that typically is going to result in some sort of comparison statement that involves either a value or a true-false. So I'm going to create simply a comparison statement by grabbing this blank equals blank block and bringing it inside my if do else. Now with this in here, I can set any variety of specific input conditions, such as whether the temperature is something, the light is something, the sound level is something. And I can compare those values to anything else, whether they equal, do not equal, less than or equal to, and so forth. Then I need to set up the second half of my if statement. And to do that, I'm probably going to go into math and simply be grabbing the value. That's just the simple number right at the top and bringing that in. So I'm setting up a statement that says if something here is greater than, and I can set whatever value I want for that. Now, once I've done that, I need to tell the program what I would like it to do if the light, in this example, is higher than 50. I can go into any of my different options, whether I'm displaying something on the screen, whether I'm having the speaker output a certain soundtrack, or whether I'm controlling physical outputs using the output menu. All of those are options I can put inside my do this. So if the light is greater than 50, let's put a house on our screen. Else or otherwise, now choose what you want it to do if the light drops below 50 lux. For simplicity, I'm just going to grab the same block here, but have it show a different image. Now the question with this, because we do have a simple if statement, is what is going to happen when we click play? Now, in order for logic statements like this to check themselves more than just the moment the program runs and keep checking and keep changing as the environment changes, is to use the loops menu. Now, we can tell it to loop or repeat forever. Or you can tell it to repeat just a certain number of times. For instance, if you were using the outputs to control your servos on the back of your Explorus and have it drive around like a robot, you might use that to use a certain number of times to create a specific shape. Or you can even go in and create complex repeats that also only repeat if a certain condition is met. So I'm going to just do a forever loop for this, and I'm going to bring it all the way around my sample if statement. Now, the last thing we need to do anytime you're setting up a loop that has a forever command or a while blank or while true command is tell it how often you want it to check. Do you want it to check every 100 milliseconds? Do you want it to check every 3 minutes? That's a very different program. So it's important that the program knows how often it is checking to see if its environment has changed. And you want to put that inside the loop. Essentially, it tells you how often you're going to repeat that loop. So simply add that to the end, set your delay, and now you can send your code to your Explorus. And when it fully uploads, click play. And then if you did what I did here, Go ahead and move your explorers around to different light values and see how that might change what shows on the screen. But there you go. That is the basics of creating a simple if then or logical statement using the logic menus and the loops menu in XploriLab. Thanks for watching.